And I think that's just being a good quote unquote scientist, documenting your processes. So let's say you have an experiment, and I think the process of setting it up, what were the challenges, successes in that, what barriers did you have to overcome, and being really mindful about, I started with thinking that this was the control, but then it wasn't. Why? And how did you come to that reason? Let's take the kind of classic students have done, experiment on like different light. Okay, so let's natural light versus different colors along the spectrum. So something that students always kind of forget. Well, if I cover those with cellophane, I got to cover my control with cellophane, but then they don't do that. So like going through those and documenting those processes of what did I really kind of always coming in, what could have I changed? What could have I done better? How could I just change the experiment entirely? So documenting those processes, I think, along the way. And that could be captured either via video and or just with a picture that's annotated that students then upload and but I think that's something that should be kind of done. Even as simple as a science notebook. Those are things that are a great way to document and that all scientists use to document process. I always give the example. I was a bench scientist. I was a geneticist. I worked on fire ants, and I really had to always problem solve. Why is the PCR not working? Why am I not getting the bands that I see? And going back through, and it necessarily wasn't the fire ants and their genes. It was somewhere along the way, I had contamination. And so figuring all those things out. And so I think the simplest way is to have students keep a science notebook. And that's a great way for them to document their processes, but then also for a staff to quickly look through. And then it's a great platform from which them to ask questions and interrogate students in terms of why they made certain decisions at certain key points and what they've learned from those decisions and or what they would do differently.